So I am using Wonder Under. It is a paper-backed fusible web. It's mostly used in sewing or applique, but of course I've got to take it a different direction. I have sped up this video a bit so that you don't have to sit and watch me do all the little steps. Right now I am painting with my Inktense blocks all over my fusible web still attached to the paper. When this is all done, I will let it dry. Because it's fusible, I can't speed dry it, so you definitely have to let it air dry. I'm using my water pens and the blocks as a paint palette. There is no pattern to what I'm painting, I'm just putting down color. You do want to go kind of heavy with it because it is a sheer product, and when you get ready to use it in the next step, it is a lot lighter than it is in the painted piece. One really cool extra in this is when you're done and you have ironed it onto our next part, you have this really cool piece of paper that you peel off the back that's got little splotches of color all over it. So now I'm taking some organza and some silk and I'm painting on it. Again, very random. I have gotten my fabrics wet and just added the color that way, and I've also just colored on it and it seems to get more intense. As you can tell, I had a lot of trouble with my paint brushes or water brushes. For some reason they just weren't wanting to let the water out. That's part of the reason I got the fabrics wet, because I just needed more liquid to make the paint spread. For this project, you could use any kind of fabrics, but I tried to keep things as sheer as I could because the last layer of what I'm making is a little more opaque. So here I am on the organza. It is really wet, just drawing lines on it, spreading out the color a little bit. Now I'm just going to kind of wad it up and spread the color out and make it all blend in together. Now I'm using my StazOn ink pad and a very heavy stabilizer. It's a non-fusible product. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but it's very heavy. It's like 1/8 of an inch thick. And so I am randomly stamping all over this just to add another layer in our design, using several different unmounted stamps and just adding some black to kind of pop through the back. Again, there is no pattern to what I'm stamping. I'm going mostly for texture and using stamps that I like. First time using these barbed wire stamps. They were pretty cool. Okay, here I have ironed the fusible web to my stabilizer, and I'm pulling it off. See the really cool piece of paper left over? But now my web has all kinds of colors on it. So I've taken them over to the sewing machine, and I've laid little threads and bunches of fabric and all the little silk and organza, and I'm going to make a book cover. Here is the finished book cover. After putting all the stuff on there, I zigzag the edges and zigzag through the center, and it has a layer of tulle on top to keep it all in place. Now I'm stamping on a silk ribbon, mostly because I felt like the pink was just too pretty, and I wanted a little bit more texture to it. When I get this ribbon all stamped, I will use it to put my book closed. So again, here's the cover. I did line the inside with the fabric. I did a little extra stitching to hold it in place. You decide what you want to be the front, because there's so much going on both pieces. I took 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and folded them in half, and I'm holding them in place with an elastic headband. I'm tying the ribbon on to be used as a closure. Mostly I'm tying it on so that when I use the book, I won't lose the ribbon. I'm really good at that. So tie a bow, and there we have our book. You can attach a pin and have it ready to go with you. Stick it in your purse and have a little spot to journal on.